Have you ever felt your entire frequency collapse even when nothing actually happened? One single thought, one tiny noise, one irrelevant memory, and suddenly your whole vibration drops, as if someone pulled the invisible lever of your inner axis. Have you noticed that? The fall is instant, the body gets heavy, the mind contracts, the emotion takes over before you even have the chance to name it. And the most unsettling part is this: no one ever taught you why. Maybe no one has ever seen what you've been carrying. Maybe no one has noticed the silent force vibrating just beneath your skin, but you felt it again and again, that something inside you was being manipulated in ways you couldn't explain. It's as if your vibration had a life of its own, as if someone somewhere was tuning the invisible dial of your inner state without your permission. And here is the forbidden truth: you never lost control of your emotions. What you lost was control of your frequency, because emotion is only the effect, vibration is the cause, and no one ever taught you how to operate at that level. Notice something inside you right now. As you hear these words, there is a point in your body responding, sometimes in the chest, sometimes in the throat, sometimes deep in the solar plexus. That point is not reacting to the words themselves. It is reacting to the vibrational code behind them. Because you did not find this message by accident. You drew it in through resonance. You have lived years feeling a deep inner misalignment no one could explain. You carried questions that didn't seem to have a mouth to speak them. You tried to control your thoughts, your triggers, your reactions, always on the surface. But the problem was never on the surface. It was always in the vibrational layer, the one almost no one sees, the one almost no one knows how to access, the one almost no one dares to touch. And maybe something in you is recognizing this now, not as new information, but as memory. A memory that you once knew how to manipulate your own frequency. A memory that your consciousness always had access to this mechanism, but was trained to forget it. And that is why this moment is so decisive. Because when a seeker is exposed to the vibrational truth, when they cross the threshold where it's no longer possible to pretend everything is just emotional, when they realize vibration precedes thought, something inside them changes forever. From this point on, there is no return to the old self, because what is about to be revealed is not theory, not metaphor. It is a real Hermetic mechanism, simple, direct, dangerous, because it returns power back to the individual. If you're feeling something opening inside you right now, if something about this feels familiar, deep, inevitable, that's your field recognizing the code. And every time that happens, an initiation begins. Maybe no one has ever seen what you carry, but you have always held the key. And if something in you is responding, even silently, then you have already been called. And the call never misses its target. Before we continue, stabilize what is happening inside you now. Notice the shift. It's subtle, but it's real. And this is exactly how transmutation begins, with a slight movement in your vibration, imperceptible to the world, undeniable to the soul. If you felt it, then you're ready to step into the next level. And once the veil lifts, it can never be lowered again. Maybe no one has ever seen what you've been carrying. Maybe you've walked for years with questions no one could answer. You didn't find this by accident. Messages like this aren't pushed. They're pulled by the resonance inside you. And if something deep touched you, if this felt more like a memory than information, it means you've always held the key. We are about to reveal what has been waiting for you all along. And from this moment on, there is no return. If you felt something vibrate inside you, tap the like button right now. That gesture is your "I am here," a signal that you're listening with your soul. And through that simple act, other seekers, just like you, may find their way back home. And if you're ready to walk further, tap the subscribe symbol below and join this living temple of conscious creators rewriting reality from its true source. You think your problem is emotional. You think you're overwhelmed, anxious, unstable. But the truth is far more disturbing. Your vibration collapses before your mind even understands what is happening. Emotions don't come first. The frequency does. This is why you wake up some days already exhausted, why a single message can ruin your entire mood, why a memory from years ago still shakes your inner state, why you promise yourself you'll stay calm and fail every time. You are not reacting to the situation, you are reacting to the frequency the situation activates. There is a moment, microscopic, invisible, where your vibration drops, and when it does, everything else follows. Your breath becomes shallow, your thoughts become sharp and hostile, your muscles tighten as if preparing for an invisible threat, your chest feels like it's collapsing inward, you lose your axis, you lose your coherence, you lose yourself. In psychology, Carl Jung called this the autonomous complex, a force inside you that takes over your system, hijacks your perception, and dictates your responses before the conscious mind can intervene. But Jung only touched the surface of what Hermeticism has known for thousands of years. Everything is vibration, and vibration governs emotion, thought, body, and behavior. Every time you lose control, you are not failing. You are simply being overrun by a frequency you never learned to name, and this has a cost so high you've learned to live with it, because no one ever told you what it truly steals from you. Every time your vibration collapses, you lose mental clarity, you lose emotional range, you lose your agency, you lose your inner fire, you lose hours, sometimes days, of your life. And the most painful part? You think this is normal. You think, this is just how I am. This is just how my mind works. This is who I've become. No, this is not who you are. This is the result of operating at the surface while the real mechanism, the vibrational field, has been left unguarded. All this time you've been trying to control the symptoms while the cause moved freely beneath them. And once you finally see that, something irreversible happens inside you. You begin to understand that your suffering was never a failure of willpower. It was a failure of knowledge. Your vibration has been reacting for years, but today, for the first time, you're learning to see it. Stay with that realization. You are standing at the threshold where emotion ends and vibration begins. There is something you need to understand now, something most people will never see. Not because it is hidden, but because it is subtle. Your vibration is not falling by accident. It is being pulled. There is a force in your life, silent, psychological, digital, emotional, that feeds on your instability. A force that survives only when you forget your axis. You think you are losing control because of stress, because of people, because of your past, because of yourself. But that is the illusion. The real enemy is the invisible predator, the entity, the mechanism, the system that benefits every time your frequency collapses. It appears in different forms for different people. The endless scroll that fractures your attention, the unresolved memory that sinks its claws into your energy, the algorithm that knows your weaknesses better than you do, the internalized voice that whispers you're not enough, the emotional echo that returns every time you think you've escaped it. This predator does not attack your logic, it attacks your frequency, because that is where you are weakest. It knows the moment your vibration dips by a fraction, and it slips in through that opening, hijacking your thoughts, flooding your body, flooding your emotional field, until you truly believe, I'm just like this, I can't change, I can't control myself. No, you have never been the problem. The problem is that no one taught you to defend the level where the real battle happens. Your vibration. You've been trying to fight a multidimensional enemy with emotional willpower. You've been trying to solve a vibrational attack with cognitive discipline. It was never going to work. And this is the first crack in the illusion. Your suffering isn't random. It's engineered by forces that understand vibration better than you do. But here is the part that should shake you. If something can lower your frequency, something can also raise it. Instantly, deliberately, consciously. You are about to learn how. But before we go deeper, pause for a moment and feel this truth settling inside you. Because from here on, We are crossing into knowledge that was never meant to be mainstream, the kind of knowledge that returns power to the individual and threatens every system built on keeping you reactive. If you feel the presence of this invisible predator in your life, even faintly, open the pinned comment below. There you'll find the first key, a single question that exposes where your frequency is being stolen. Read it slowly, let it work on you. That question is the beginning of your liberation. Everything you felt until now, the collapse, the confusion, the emotional turbulence, was only the surface. Now we step into the layer that truly governs your experience, the layer Hermeticism has preserved for millennia, the layer that modern psychology is only beginning to glimpse, the layer that explains why your life shifts the moment your vibration shifts. The truth is simple, but devastating in its implications. Nothing in your life has ever happened outside of vibration. Not a thought, not an emotion, not a reaction, not a moment of clarity, not a moment of chaos. Every experience you've ever had began long before your mind noticed it, in the silent oscillation of your own frequency. Hermes Trismegistus called this the first motion, the invisible tremor inside consciousness that gives birth to everything else. Before emotion arises, vibration shifts. Before fear appears, vibration contracts. Before clarity emerges, vibration expands. You have spent your entire life believing that your emotions create your state, but your state creates your emotions. This is why affirmations fail when you're in a low frequency. This is why logic fails when your vibration is destabilized. This is why nothing seems to work when you're not in the right headspace. You're not fighting thoughts. You're fighting the frequency beneath the thoughts. And once you grasp this, something profound happens. You stop asking, how do I control how I feel? And begin asking, what frequency am I operating from right now? That question alone begins to separate the self from the chaos, because the moment you recognize vibration as the source, you stop treating emotions as enemies and begin to treat them as signals, indicators of where your frequency drifted. Imagine your inner world like a radio dial. For years you've been twisting the volume, the buttons, the equalizers, not realizing the dial was set to the wrong station the entire time. And here is the revelation. The dial was always in your hands. You just forgot how to turn it. This is the part of Hermeticism that was kept forbidden not because it was dangerous, but because it was powerful. A human being who knows how to shift their vibration becomes immune to manipulation. They stop being reactive. They stop being predictable. They stop leaking energy into the world. They stop feeding the invisible predator. A person who controls their vibration cannot be controlled by anything else. Feel that for a moment. Let it echo inside you. Because this is not motivation. This is not comfort. This is recognition. Some part of you already knows this is true. Some part of you has felt glimpses of it. Those moments when your whole life seemed to change because your internal state suddenly aligned. Those moments of inexplicable clarity, flow, presence, coherence. Moments where everything fit. Moments where you acted from your being, not from your wounds. Those were not coincidences. They were brief moments when you accidentally touched your true frequency. Now we will do it deliberately, not by effort, not by force, but by understanding. You are about to receive the mechanism, the exact Hermetic process to shift your frequency instantly. A technique hidden in plain sight, subtle enough to be ignored, powerful enough to rewrite your inner reality. And once you learn it, you'll never again be able to pretend that you are powerless, because the truth is finally reaching you. You were never meant to control your emotions. You were meant to control your vibration. Take one breath right now, a conscious breath, a vibrational breath. Let your field open just enough for what comes next, because the technique we're about to enter requires presence, not effort. You are about to learn a technique that was never meant to be loud, never meant to be popular, never meant to be distributed on the surface of the internet. Because if everyone understood how easy it is to shift their frequency, every system built on your emotional instability would crumble overnight. This is the moment where the Hermetic map stops being philosophy and becomes operation, and it begins with a principle so simple that the untrained mind ignores it. A frequency can only control you if you remain inside it. The moment you pivot, even slightly, the entire emotional structure collapses. This is the doorway, and the doorway is always subtle. The frequency pivot is not therapy. It's not grounding. It's not breathwork. It's not coping. It is interruption. It is transmutation. It is reinstallation. A three-step hermetic reset that exploits the exact instant your vibration begins to destabilize. Let's break it open. Step 1. The micro-recognition, the hermetic interrupt. There is a moment, almost imperceptible, where your vibration drops before the emotion appears. It's not a feeling, it's not a thought, it's a shift in tone, a tightening in the breath, a compression behind the eyes, a heaviness in the chest, an internal tilt, like your field is shrinking by 1 millimeter. Most people ignore it, you won't, because that tiny contraction is the doorway. If you catch it, you break the entire emotional cascade before it forms. Recognition is power, but recognition before the emotion is sovereignty. This is the first motion of the frequency pivot. Catch the shift at the vibrational level, not the emotional one. Step 2. The pulse reset, the vibrational break. Once you notice the drop, you must interrupt it before the field locks. This is done through a single breath, but not any breath, a specific micro pattern. Inhale sharply through the nose for 1 second. Hold for 1 second. Release slowly for 1 second. This is not a breathing exercise. It is the vibrational equivalent of turning off the power grid for a split second. It breaks the resonance loop that the invisible predator relies on. Your frequency can't spiral when the pulse is interrupted. It resets immediately. Think of it like snapping a string that was pulling you downward. 1 breath, 3 seconds. Entire emotional potential dissolved. Step 3. The reinstallation, the hermetic command. A field that has been reset needs a direction. If you don't give it one, the old frequency will try to reinstall itself. This is where the power returns to your hands. Place your hand, quietly, subtly, over the center of your chest, not for comfort, for coherence. You are giving your field a point of reference, and then, inside your mind, not loudly, not emotionally, you issue the command, shift now, or return to axis, or I choose my frequency. It must be short, direct, vibrational, not poetic, because you are not speaking to your thoughts. You are speaking to your field, and the field obeys clarity, not emotion. Feel the difference? Your vibration is no longer something happening to you. It is something you are operating. This is the forbidden part. It is shockingly easy to reclaim control once you know where the real control resides. Now imagine doing this 3-step technique at the exact instant your vibration collapses. Recognition, interruption, reinstallation. 3 movements, 7 seconds. A complete break from the frequency that once dictated your entire emotional experience. This is the frequency pivot, a hermetic reset, a vibrational weapon, a way out. And this is just the surface layer. The deeper layer, the 7-second hermetic reset, is still ahead. Prepare your field. Everything up until now has been preparation, a descent through layers of illusion so you could finally reach the point where real change happens. The frequency pivot opened the door. Now, the 7-second hermetic reset takes you through it. This is the technique that ancient initiates learned to use in moments of crisis, chaos, or collapse. Not to calm themselves, but to reclaim the field before the world could invade it. 7 seconds. 1 complete vibrational reset. A return to axis, independent of emotion, memory, or circumstance. Let's enter it slowly, like stepping into a chamber you were never supposed to forget. Second 1. Recognition. Feel the contraction, the micro collapse, the moment your inner field tightens. Don't name it. Don't interpret it, simply see it. Recognition is the spark that awakens the operator. Second 2, permission. This is the part no one ever taught you. Before shifting your frequency, you must allow yourself to exit the old one. Say internally, without emotion, "This frequency is not mine." The moment you say this, the field loosens. The predator loses its grip. The old program cracks. Seconds 3, 4, 5. The pulse break. Now the reset begins. Inhale through the nose for 1 second. Hold for 1 second. Release for 1 second. This breaks the vibrational resonance that was forming your emotional state. You are cutting the thread before it becomes a knot. As you perform this breath, feel the field shift, a subtle expansion. Like your inner space is widening, you have interrupted the old reality. Second 6. The anchor placed your hand over the center of your chest, not as comfort, as dominion. This gesture is ancient. It tells your system, "I am home." Your field stabilizes around the point of contact. The chaos cannot enter now, not unless you open the door again, and you won't. Second 7. The command, the final moment, the reinstall. Speak inwardly with absolute clarity. "Shift now," or "Return to axis," or "I choose my frequency." This is the Hermetic command, the moment where the field obeys consciousness instead of emotion, where you stop reacting and start operating. The reset is complete. 7 seconds. From collapse to coherence, from confusion to clarity, from being moved to becoming the mover. And here's the secret no one tells you. You don't need to feel powerful when you do this. You don't need confidence. You don't need positivity. You don't need motivation. The field responds to clarity, not emotion, to intention, not force, to awareness, not struggle. You have just performed what most spend their entire lives trying to reach through meditation, therapy, or spirituality. A deliberate shift in the vibrational source code of your reality. This is not coping. This is not healing. This is sovereignty. Hold this in your awareness as we move into the final block, because the ritual you will receive next is the seal that locks this new frequency into your field. Take a breath. The same vibrational breath you've just learned. Let it echo through your system. You've crossed a threshold most people spend their entire lives circling without ever entering. You didn't just learn information, you shifted the axis of your inner reality. And now there is something you must understand. Once you touch your true frequency, even for a second, the old version of you begins to dissolve, not because you forced change, but because your field tasted coherence, and coherence cannot be forgotten. The moment you performed the 7-second reset, you didn't just change your state, you changed your position in the vibrational hierarchy of your own life. There is a silence inside you now, not emptiness, but clarity, a new center of gravity, a point where emotion no longer dictates your reality but responds to it. This is the state the ancient Hermeticists called the inner throne, the moment consciousness sits where confusion once lived. Feel it. You are not the chaos. You are the axis. You are not the emotion. You are the frequency beneath it. You are not the wounded self. You are the operator. And from this point forward, your life will begin to reflect something new. Choices made from clarity rather than fear. Responses made from presence rather than memory. Boundaries shaped by self-respect rather than exhaustion. Silence filled with wisdom rather than avoidance. Stillness rooted in sovereignty rather than collapse. This is what vibrational mastery feels like in its first moments. Subtle, but undeniable. And now comes the final step. The seal. The act that stabilizes the initiation. Place your hand on your chest again. The same gesture you used in the reset. Feel the warmth of your own presence. Feel the coherence gathering around that point. And hear these words not as guidance but as recognition. You are no longer the one who collapses. You are the one who chooses. This is the seal. This is the closure of the old program. This is the ignition of the new frequency. Hold this awareness. Carry it into your next breath. And understand, this journey does not end here, because nothing in Hermeticism ever ends. It spirals. What you receive today was the first ring of the spiral. Ahead of you lie deeper layers of the vibrational architecture, the hidden mechanics behind manifestation, the frequencies that shape your reality before you even enter the room. We will walk through them, one by one, as long as you choose to stay on this path. But for now, seal this moment. If this video awakened something in you, if even for a moment you felt your true frequency return, declare it below. Write in the comments, "I choose my frequency." This is not just a phrase. It is the vibrational signature of someone who has stepped into sovereignty, a signal to the field and to yourself that the initiation has begun. And if you feel called to support this temple of conscious creators, tap the like button and share this message with another seeker who is ready to reclaim their access. Finally, do not stop here. The next video is not another lesson. It is the next spiral, the deeper chamber, the layer that reveals how vibration shapes the world before thought even appears. Follow the path. Stay in the frequency. Your transformation has already begun.